I'm going to give her a whirl. We'll see. Hello. Before bed, I want to knock out some more pages, so I'm currently on page 60. I'm loving it. I knew it was gonna be good because everyone loves it, but this book is funny, it's inventive. It's not like some fantasy book just trying to be Sarah J Maas. It's really different. This main character is 16, but I think this is like adult fantasy. I could be totally wrong, but I know in Barnes & Noble at least they put it in like adult fantasy, and I can see why. It's very brutal. A cat has already died. I'm really affected by it, and I can tell why everyone loves it. It's great. The only thing is the world is so different that more often than not it'll say something and I'm like, huh? Like, I feel like I need a glossary. Maybe I just need to keep reading. I don't know if I'll be able to wrap my head around it enough to give it 5 stars, but like character-wise and interestingness-wise, it's pretty good. I own the second book if I want to jump immediately to it. I don't own the third one, but I assume I'm not going to be able to read the entire trilogy before Imagine Me comes out, so I'll jump that hurdle when I get to it. Tomorrow, I have to go to a leadership meeting because my boss is going to be out and I'm really nervous about it, but I'm going to stop stressing and just listen to the rain and drink my ice water. I'm just now realizing I think I just stan water. I love water. Anyway, good night. Today's work agenda is watching Frozen 2 for self-care. Because I had a long day on Friday. And I feel like as long as I'm treating myself well and I'm keeping my mental morale up, I should be allowed to watch Frozen 2 on the clock. So
100% support it. 100%.
So I brought my book to work and I kind of want to read it. I got to page, I was going to update this morning when I forgot. I think I'm on page like 90. It's so good. I kept having to tweet and be like, what's a turn? What does turn mean? Because in the world, there's no day and night. So it's like, it's either a turn or a nevernight. And I'm just like, I don't know what this means. Can I get a glossary, please? But other than that, I love it so far. And I finally understand the plot because they're like, I don't think I've even given you a synopsis. So it's this girl named Mia who has a type of magic where she's like a darken, which means she can like use and manipulate shadows. And she has this cat that follows her around named Mr. Kindly. He's like a shadow being and helps her with stuff. You'll find out if you read it. And she lives in this universe where there's 3 suns. So there's Nevernight. That's why it's called Nevernight. My mind blown. So when she was 10, her father was killed by the Republic for being a traitor, and so she wants to get revenge on the 4 people who were like involved in it, but they are super well trained, like way above her level, so she wants to go to this training academy, but to get into that, it's like all these really rough trials, which, I mean, every fantasy book at this point is basically like a trial book. It takes a little bit of getting into to like understand that this is what she's working toward, but the main character is super strong and very blunt, and I stan her so hard. I'm gonna watch Frozen 2 and sip my ice water until my boss barges in and says we need to start working. Hey gals, I'm home from work now with mascara under my eyes. I don't know why. I hope it's not been like that all day. Because I have no plans and I know if I don't make this vlog clip and inspire myself to get off TikTok, I'm gonna try and read all night. I don't know if that sentence made any sense, but I'm gonna start reading now. So I'm still at the same place I was last night, which is actually further than I thought. I'm on page 96. I made myself a little reading snack. So Trader Joe's got me on this like cashew cheese dip, and not gonna lie, this kind of has the consistency of like mashed potatoes, but it's non-dairy, and I don't think I've ever tried vegan cheese, let alone queso, so I'm gonna try it now. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be difficult for me to like put aside what real cheese tastes like because I still eat cheese even though I'm trying to be dairy-free. I can't give up cheese. She's my #1 love. Let's just try some queso. It smells like nacho cheese, so hopefully I can just get over like the mental block that it's fake cheese. Okay, let's go. Like on a chip, it tastes like chips and queso, but I'm scared to eat it by itself because I don't want to ruin that. So I'm not mad. Was it worth $3 for a tiny thing of it? I don't know. haven't recorded the past couple days. Yesterday I just didn't really read. I read in the bathtub a little bit, but then was too sleepy to record that night. I just started reading on my balcony. I'm going to continue reading inside and watching the rain. I'm on page 140. I feel like I've read more than that, but I haven't. This is just so slow going, but it's very good. This already had a moment where I was like, so it's really plot twisty and very brutal, but the more you read it, the more it's comprehensible. So I think it's gonna get 5 stars. I love it. It's good enough to merit having sticky tabs in here. I just haven't for some reason. Rest assured, even though I'm not sticky tabbing it, it's still really well written. I look like 3 frogs in a French coat. I look like 3 toads in a trench coat right now, but good morning. So last night I didn't read any because I was FaceTiming with Kristen and Ryan for like 5 hours, who are both quarantined. So now it's just me and my boss in my department, and I am now digital marketing specialist, graphic designer, social media, and marketing assistant. So it's been fun. Anyway, I just wanted to say good Saturday. I think I am going to read all day. I need to clean really bad and then read. So that's my 2 tasks. But right now I'm sitting at my breakfast table with none other than breakfast. And I got these eggs from my coworker who has chickens, which is awesome. I was like, yes, free eggs, fresh eggs, we stand. And so I was like getting ready to use them. And then she tells me when she hands them to me, oh, if there's like a little bit of blood in it or anything, just throw it away because the hens are still learning how to lay. And now that I've heard that, it's kind of ruined it for me because I don't see any blood. I mean, there's paprika all over it. But now I'm like, what if I'm eating chicken blood? I'll talk to you when I get into Nevernight. I think I'm a little further than I was last time I talked to you, but I don't know how much that is. So we'll just have to talk later. Okay, bye. Hi, everyone. It's like midnight on Monday. I'm wrapping up my evening. Just finished reading a couple chapters. I didn't read that much this weekend because I was just using it as downtime. Usually constitutes just going on TikTok. So clearly getting a lot of great things done. But I just read to page 217, so I'm a little bit over halfway. I feel like I can just say the same things over and over. It's really good. It's quite brutal, so I feel like I need to watch like a calming video before bed just to make sure I don't dream about torture scenes. But this book keeps me guessing. I never know where it's gonna go. I'm really upset that I didn't buy the 3rd book because I was thinking about it. Clearly, I'm tired. I had a bit of a headache tonight, and I never get headaches, so it was not fun. But I am just hoping I do not get sick because my whole department is self-quarantined except for me. I feel like I've talked about this before. I just want to be there right now. And I've never had the flu. I've never had anything like coronavirus. I've never had like bronchitis or pneumonia or anything. So this is a really great time for all us hypochondriacs. Long time no speak. I don't remember when the last time I recorded this, which is just a wonderful segue. It is Thursday, my dudes. I've been bringing my work laptop home because now that my entire department is out, I've been taking care of social media, and so we get lots of messages and comments after hours, and I gotta be on top of that. I kind of let the cat out of the bag on Twitter. So if you've been curious, I work at a food bank. And when I say that, I feel like there's a really good education opportunity here because a lot of people think of like a soup kitchen, or if I work at a food bank, I must like do manual labor or something. But I work in marketing at a food bank. And as you can imagine right now, a lot of people are in need of food. There's thousands of kids out of school right now. I don't mean to stand on a soapbox, but I just need you to explain like what I'm going through day to day. And I feel like young people don't really understand the concept of food banks, or at least like I definitely did not before I worked here, and I didn't realize how massive it is in my area. Literally every day I get messages on social media like, where can I find food? Like my kids need food. They don't have school meals anymore. So I'll be doing that for 2 more days until Monday when our social media person is back into the office. But yeah, if you've been curious about what I do that. Also a good segue to talking about what I want to talk about next is because of coronavirus, we can no longer have like public people coming in to volunteer, which is like a critical part of us getting food out to people. Long story short, the food that we receive from like grocery stores or just random people, like community donations, is all unsorted. So we need people who can sort it, put it into boxes, and especially right now, put it into like emergency boxes with like staples and snacks and, you know, stuff to tide people over. And without having daily volunteers to do that, it won't get done. So the admin building that I work in is stepping in to pack some of those boxes, which means every day I'm wearing tennis shoes, I'm working out for 3 hours, and long story short, I want to go take a bath. So since we last talked, I think I had like one good night of reading. I'm still in the middle of Nevernight. And on that night, I read to page 284. So now we're like 2/3 of the way in. And hello, J. Kristoff. I see you with that smut. This book had a very descriptive, naughty nighttime scene, and I enjoyed it. But I kind of want to talk about that. Like, are we allowed to enjoy sex scenes about 16-year-olds? Because I feel weird. I feel weird being like, that was hot, because that's a 16-year-old. This is just a question that I've debated for a hot second, because like, obviously I love Shatter Me, but after I turned 18, I was like, am I allowed to sexualize Juliet? Like, there's a thin line there. I know I said I think this book is adult fantasy, but it's about a 16-year-old, and I'm just like, how do I talk about this character as a sexual being without being like creepy about it? So I don't know. Leave your thoughts down below. Anywho, I'm going to take this into my bathtub, and I'm going to put on some nice music and a candle, and I'm just gonna do a good relax. Surprisingly, my mental state has been pretty good. Whenever we started going and doing volunteer shifts, I felt a little weird, like this is not my routine, oh my god. But I got past that, I'm doing fine. So I hope y'all are doing okay as well. I know it's very strange times currently. I'm so fortunate to be in a job that's deemed essential, so I'm safe there. Let's go read. I want to finish this book soon. Also, I love that it's 7 p.m. and still daylight outside. Like, yes. Hi, Rosie. I can feel you sniffing my back. I can feel you, but I won't. Good morning. I look crazy. Gordo, you didn't have to confirm it. So I woke up and didn't feel like making breakfast, so I ordered some Postmates. So I'm trying Dunkin' for like the first time, other than like maybe having it once before. So I got an iced coffee. It's like a decaf caramel flavored thing, so I just decided to treat myself. I don't usually drink coffee. That is so sweet. I really wanted a chicken sandwich, but they called me and said like they don't do chicken sandwiches, so Postmates lied and got me excited. So now all I have are some dinky hash browns, my box of half a dozen donuts. Oh, they're St. Patrick's. Okay. I don't know what I expected. Ma'am, do you mind? Really, honestly, do you mind? So last night I got a little bit further into nevernight before I went to bed, and now I'm on page 340. So I only have like 70 pages left, and I want to finish it today. So I'm going to eat my dinky little hash browns, drink my dinky little drink. I finished Nevernight. Gordo decided it's time to lay on me. And even though I have all this lap space, he decided the boob space is more important. Oh, bud. That book was so good. I haven't read a book that had such a big plot twist in a long time. It literally made me go, was not expecting it. I know it sucks to be like, this book has a plot twist, but it's just, it was good, you know? So I really want to read the sequel. This book didn't have as bad of a cliffhanger as I thought it would have, but still, I really want to read the sequel soon, but I have like 3 other books to read right now. Mainly, I need to reread Defy Me so that I can read Imagine Me on Tuesday. I requested Tuesday off of work because I just want to read all day. So I annotate all of the Shatter Me books in paperback after they come out, so I have to annotate Defy Me. I already started a little bit the other night, so I'm like 15 pages into it, but I feel gross. Like I kind of want to shower. I might take a little bit of a break, but I finished my book and it was so good. I think I'm gonna give it 5 stars. I definitely see what the hype is about, but I also see why people call it problematic. Hi, Gordo. Can I please talk? There's a race of people in the... Oh, okay. There's a race of people in the book called the Dwaimari or the Dwaimari. They're dark-skinned and described as like savages and like rapists. So I remember a couple years ago there was a lot of controversy about that, and I don't so much hear about that now, but I just wanted to let you know, like, if you're going into this expecting it to be a fun time, there's those undertones, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm gonna have to go look into some reviews. That's my full thoughts. I'm sorry if it was just kind of like bland. It was good, and I wasn't able to really go that much further into it. Hello! It's been a while since I've come back to you live. It's been even longer since I've recorded something with good audio, but hey. See, this is why I like vlogging with my phone, because nothing's ever tall enough to point up to my face. So today I finished Defy Me. I'd spent the first half of it annotating it and being like, here's my predictions. And then the last half, I was just like, I don't care. So I stopped annotating because I was getting really bored with annotating it, but I knew if I just read it, I wasn't gonna be bored. So I flew through it. I'm not gonna say that it got better with age. I will say that I think I expected it to be not as good as I was hoping. So like, I wasn't as let down as I was when I read it last year. For context, I've only read, this is my third read of this book, and both times were like back when it first came out. I read it back to back. And so this is the first time I'm revisiting it a year later after like everything has sunk in. We've learned more with the novella. I kept it at a 3-star rating, and it's really difficult for me to like move away from that because it honestly could get like a 2 stars, but I'm just like not. I don't have the investment to make that call because I'm just like whatever. I realized this reread that other than like not being as angry with it as I used to be, like rereading my old review, I was like, okay, I was really mad about a lot of parts that this time I'm just like, okay, it makes sense. The thing I realized is that there's kind of like 2 halves to it, and both are equally as bad. So the first half is like literally nothing happens. It's just all in the characters' heads, like over explaining what the situation is and like filling us in on the gaps that the author's trying to show us happened. I don't know if that makes sense. So nothing happens in the first half. It's just like, let's info dump everything that just happened at the end of the last book leading up to now, and then there's a bunch of flashbacks that I don't care about. So the first half is just boring, but then the second half, when the action picks up, all the characters have name changes and all the dialogue is really out of character and cringy and like overly sappy, and it like just doesn't feel like the characters. I feel like Kenji just keeps this book afloat because Warnett is literally not Warnett anymore, and as much as I love him, I hate that he has a POV because it adds nothing to the book other than like, here's what you're missing when these 2 characters are apart right now. I never posted a full review of this book because I was just gonna let it like sit so I can think more about like what I liked and didn't like, but I feel like no matter how long I sit on it, I'm still gonna stick by like, I have no idea why this book is so bad. I mean, it's still good enough for 3 stars. Like, it still gives me the content that I want. I like to see the characters, but I think in my head, I had such an expectation of like what was gonna happen with their lives, and this book just like dashed all of my dreams. Like, the only way that I can put that sentence into like actual tangibility, there's a scene in Defy Me where Warner's talking about like, oh, I would love to have like a house with Juliet one day and like make new memories with her somewhere that's other than the Sector 45 base, because he's like, my bedroom at the base is like, it's horrible, I hate it, I have such bad memories, like it's terrible. And I'm sitting here like, Warner's bedroom is like one of the most iconic settings in this series for me because so many important scenes happen there and ignite me, so it's just like, it's really special to me. I'm like, oh, that's like where everything first happened. And he's sitting there in this book like, this doesn't matter, that sucked, I want to move on from that. And I'm like, no, like that's my happy place, that's my nostalgia. So I feel like that acts as a metaphor for the entire book, because it's like, I'm holding on to all this old material and the characters are like, that sucked, let's move on with this new thing. And I'm like, no, it is what it is. I have a couple predictions for Imagine Me, honestly, because this book didn't end off on a cliffhanger like Restore Me did. There's less theories for me to go off of, so they're just very bare bones. By the way, this is the end of the video, so like, thanks for watching. But for those of you who want to hear my Imagine Me thoughts, I'll let you in on some of them right now, even though the book comes out in like 24 hours. So the biggest thing is I want Layla to be alive, Warner's mom. It was mentioned so many times that Evie is the person who like caused her sickness, and like from Warner's flashback to his mom being in the lab to Juliet being under experimentation and experiencing the same symptoms. And then there's little things like there's manacles of like it'll take away your power. So there's just so many circumstances under which she could still be alive, and we never saw a body. So like at this point, I'm a little bit afraid of that being true because it feels like so much of the series is just fan service now. For what fans? I don't know, because I hate it. But I think it would just be another one of those like overly sappy moments with an anticlimactic reuniting scene if she were to be alive. So I don't know how I feel about it. Also, one thing that's left up in the air at the end of Defy Me is whether Adam and James have like a bigger role that Anderson kind of alluded to, saying like he's always known about Adam and he and James are both like in his plan somehow. I don't know if that was just like a dead end in this book and it doesn't actually matter in the next one, but seeing that Adam and James are still in Sector 45, I feel like one of them is gonna die. I don't know if Adam's gonna become a villain. I thought he was having like a little bit of a redemption arc, but then Defy Me just made him like a bubbling idiot again, so I don't know where it's gonna go from here. I can't say specifically whether I feel like one of them's gonna die or not. I really don't know what's gonna happen. That's just like something I'm keeping an eye out for. There's not really any nods to what's gonna happen with them, so if anything, like Anderson might harvest Adam's power, then like be, what's the word, like invincible to Juliet's power. He might use James to be able to heal himself better. Like, I don't know. One thing that I think could happen that I really hope doesn't, because it seems like it'd be too predictable, is the whole amnesia plot line. And like, since Delalue says, oh, Warner and Juliet like always find each other like magnets. No matter how many times their memories are wiped, they always get back together. I feel like that's setting it up for them to get their memories wiped again, and then like at the end of the book they're like, who's that? Like they fall in love again. But that's so obvious. And I just hate that trope, so I'm hoping it doesn't go there. But like the way it's been hinting, like they always find each other, like I can imagine that happening. One plot line that I think is a little bit sketchy is like Anderson said whenever he first met up with Warner, he was like, well, who do you think keeps me up to date with what's happening? And so like he knows all the ins and out of like Warner's sex life and like what Warner does during the day. And I feel like there's an informant that we don't know about, or maybe it was just like Nazira like playing along. I don't know if I'm overthinking that, but that's something that keeps me up at night, is like how does he know all these things? Like who is reporting to him? And like one of my little crackpot theories is that, so since like Juliet and possibly Warner and the rest of the Supreme Commander's kids were like made by their parents, or at least like their DNA and their genes were shifted around to like make them have powers or to make them stronger than normal or whatever. I wonder if, because they've also had so much manipulation with their memories, if like their parents are able to access their memories like remotely and see what they do. That sounds stupid out loud, but I wonder if they'll be able to like see where they are and see what they're doing because they're able to like in real time access their thoughts, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's one of my theories about like why Anderson knows what he knows, but also he said that like there's a person that reported back, and it might have been hinted that that was Nazira, so I don't know. And then the only thing I have left is just like little things like Anderson saying that he stole a lot more of Warner's memories than just Juliet, so it's like, does that just fit in with his character type? Like he doesn't want Warner to remember happier times? Like is he taking away memories of his mom? I don't know what that means. So there's just like a couple lines in that book that make me think, but overall I'm not like fiending to find out what happens next. If she says filming a 10-minute clip about a book she supposedly doesn't like, but that's my thoughts. I had like some mini emo hours today because I was looking around for like where can I buy this book on release date, because I didn't pre-order it, which I didn't realize until it was too late. All the bookstores are closed, so I think I'm gonna have to order it online to pick up the same day that it comes out. So like go to Barnes & Noble at 7 a.m. on Tuesday morning, or buy the ebook. And I really hate reading ebooks, especially Shatter Me books, because it just makes it feel even less real than it already feels. Like the books already kind of feel like fan fiction, so if I'm not holding it, I'm just like, this is fake. So I really don't want to read it on ebook because it'll just ruin the experience. I don't know where I was going with that explanation. I just kind of wanted to give you a pre-imagined. I wish this was a Nick Night Me vlog. I have a tickle in my throat and I hope it's not Miss Rona. So with that being said, that's everything for this reading vlog. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you in a couple days with that Imagine Me reaction vlog if I don't like have a meltdown and not vlog it. Bye. We got high off each other. You stayed up and watched me come down. 'Cause I found somebody new who makes me feel like you used to. And I'm down after all these years. Sometimes love just disappears. No one knows where it goes, but it ain't here. What the heck?